What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video. In this video today, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter video, but a very important one. The number one mistake I see people make when it comes to the high bar squat. And it's far simpler than people realize. And this has been something, once I changed it with my high bar squat, it has had a profound impact on the movement. It's allowed me to make progress with it. It feels a lot easier. And now I feel like I will be able to definitely squat over 500 pounds high bar style. And this is probably gonna sound obvious to some, but until you experiment with this, it might not seem so obvious. And the number one mistake I see is bar placement. And what I mean by that is some people, keyword some people, because the squat is probably the most individualized lift out of the big three between the squat, bench, deadlift. Hence why there's so many damn videos on the squat, because the squat didn't come natural to me. It's bar placement, right? Some people put the bar too high on their traps. We tend to think of the high bar squat as having the bar on our upper traps, so at the top of our traps or somewhere near there. And for the low bar squat, having it just resting on top of our rear deltoid. So it's probably 3 inches lower, the net difference between our high bar and low bar squat. But these are good general rules, but by no means absolutely necessary. And what I mean, once again, when it comes to the high bar squat, the number one mistake I see is incorrect bar placement for the person's individual biomechanics. And that's what I really want to get into today. We tend to see those really beautiful high bar weightlifting squats. And if we take a look at how those individuals are built, those weightlifters, they'll tend to have longer torsos. Their femurs will be a little bit shorter. So inevitably for them to squat low, it's totally fine for them to have the bar resting very high on their neck. So it's on their upper trap. So we see that high bar position, kind of that traditional high bar position. And we'll see guys like Liu Xiaojun, when he squats, he has that position. And it just looks great, it looks elegant. But if that's not you, if you're not built that way, remember, everyone has different hip structure, everyone has different biomechanics, the length of their femur relative to their torso. And that's why I say it doesn't, height is an influence, absolutely, but it's not the be-all, end-all. You could be a shorter person with longer femurs relative to your torso. If you don't have the proper biomechanics for that, when you put the bar really high, what's probably going to happen is you're going to lean a little too far forward. That center of mass, the bar weight itself, because when you come down, your hips kind of can't sink in between those legs, so you incline a little bit forward, the weight's going to shift too far forward, and what ends up happening is that two-part squat that you'll often see with people when they try that high bar squat, and it's just an incorrect placement, incorrect hip position, foot position, all those factors. Today we're talking about that number one mistake though, bar position, and how crazy it can be just to shift the bar down 1 inch. And I want you to think more about bar position like a spectrum. We have camps where people will say, the high bar, rest it super high on your traps, low bar, once again, rear deltoid. But it's kind of that spectrum. Depending upon how you're built will determine how you should squat. And there's a lot of different weightlifters. Actually, I was taking a look at my boy, shout out to the coach, Clarence Kennedy, how he squats. Does he rest it all the way up? He's 5'10", I believe. Does he rest it all the way up on his upper traps? No, they're actually lower. It's above his rear deltoid, but it's not on his upper traps. It's probably 1 inch, 1.5 inches lower than what you traditionally expect from a high bar squat. Another guy, Nathan Damron, he's an American lifter. There's so many examples. I'll be posting videos of all these lifters, but these are really good squatters that are also weightlifters, and so they're definitely doing the high bar position where their torso's more upright, right? They go to a lower depth, but if you notice the bar position, it's set a little bit lower, and that works for their body. For myself, when I first started doing the high bar squat, I thought much like everyone else, rest it on the upper traps. But for me, once again, longer femurs, especially when I was doing it without any weightlifting shoes. Weightlifting shoes, remember, decrease the demand of dorsiflexion on your body, so it basically allows you to remain a little bit more upright. When I didn't have that, and when I put the bar super high, what would end up happening, my torso would incline really forward. I had some mobility issues, but even after fixing that, I would incline too far forward, and then when it come time to squat the weight up from the bottom position, my hips would rise. Why? Because I'm not in a proper position at the bottom. So it makes it a lot harder for me to fight in that bottom position, to keep the chest up, to bring the hips back underneath the bar, making it 10 times as hard for me. And the answer is simple. You need to experiment with bar position when it comes to the high bar squat. We do want to keep, or we want to mimic that pattern of keeping our torso as upright as possible. You notice in the videos that I show you guys, I'm inclining slightly forward, but I pretty much keep that position as I'm descending into the hole. As I come out of it, there might be a little hip shift back, but then I quickly bring the hips back underneath the bar, or I bring the hips forward. I'm a lot stronger in this position than just moving the bar a little bit higher. And this isn't a low bar squat, it's still a high bar squat, but it allows me to get the transference over the sport specificity of squatting high bar, being more upright, without suffering some of those penalties of not having the proper biomechanics to have the high bar squat with the bar super high up on my traps. Some people call this maybe a hybrid squat. I say, once again, it's a spectrum between high bar and low bar. You got to find what works right for you. There are certain individuals, once again, long torso, short femur, when they squat, they can afford to put the bar on their upper traps because it's a lot easier for them just to sink their hips in between their legs and they'll remain upright no matter what. If this isn't you, and it's probably not because you're just, an average dude that lifts, you probably have to modify the high bar squat ever so slightly and shift the bar position down just an inch. Try that out. Try out the same squat, but just shifting that bar position down and see how it feels. Load up the weight and see, once again, probably one of the most common issues I'll hear from individuals, my hips rise when I come out of the squat. What should I do? Tweak it just a little bit. Try putting the bar a little bit lower. It's still a high bar squat. Don't worry. You'll get all that transference over of doing the high bar squat to the other lifts you want to maybe excel, like the front squat, but without any of that unnecessary aggravation of not squatting optimal for your body. That's really all I want to say in this video today, guys. Now that I'm doing obviously more weightlifting, I've switched over from low bar squatting predominantly to now high bar squatting. And I was taking a look at how to increase my high bar squat. And I was taking a look at how the bar was moving. And that's when I noticed so many different weightlifters actually don't squat with the bar perfectly on top of their upper traps. They shift it down a little bit. And again, I think that's something people should experiment a little bit more with it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I have a question now for you. Do you high bar squat or low bar squat? What do you prefer between the two variations? Are you part of the high bar team, ATG, go low, or are you maybe more of that low bar, trying to get as much weight as possible? Post in the comment section below. If you liked the video, I'm looking at you right now. I'm staring right at you. Like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next one. Peace.